Hello and welcome back to GM Details. In this video I'll be taking my first look at the brand new Snowfoam lance from MJJC. I'm going to take you right through unboxing it and how simple it is to put together, what the differences are between this one and the V2 Pro, straight into using it and comparing it with my MTM PF22 foam lance. All this and more coming up. So full marks for presentation. The box looks amazing in the dual colour scheme, the same as the lance. It's got all the instructions on the side of it. It seems at first though that they're assuming that all Snowfoams are going to work at dilution of 9:1, but I think they're actually referring to the new MJJC Snowfoam shampoo. Next, it's the assembly, and it's a real shame to have to break it out of its very well presented box, with the new foam bottle and the lance proudly displaying the MJJC logo on the nozzle and on the main brass body. The connection of the body to the bottle is a completely new design, only needing that quarter turn to fit, and it really isn't difficult to put it on or take it off. No danger of damaging the bottle thread on this lance. It already comes fitted with a 1.25mm orifice, which is good for pressure washers from 110 to 150 bar. Anything higher and you might need to get a larger 1.35mm one. And if you have a pressure washer under 110 bar, then you get a replacement 1.1mm orifice supplied, which is easily swapped over before you screw on the connection to your gun. One of the criticisms of the V2 lance, however, was you couldn't control the fan without the barrel of the lance turning as well, which was really annoying, but they have listened to criticism. Those who are against criticism, take note, it helps brands out with development. The blue section controls the horizontal to vertical pitch, which is rather stiff and takes some grip to turn it. Maybe that will soften over time, but it's a welcome change as it was difficult to operate on the V2. The white section is the fan control, and that's super smooth in use. The mixing dial on top seems the same as the V2, only blue now to complement the new colour scheme, which I absolutely love. Connections wise, I ordered the 1/4 inch quick connection, but you have a choice when ordering from the following types that are on the screen now. So the 1/4 inch connection looks like a stainless steel connection, nicely fitted to the brass PTFE free screw fitting, which I believe I've only ever seen on MJJC lances, and it really does work so well. Simply screw in till it stops and that's it done. So here's me prematurely demonstrating the connection to the bottle, which aligns perfectly with the MJJC logo on the lance body. Very pleasing to the OCD among us. Yes, the last piece is to fit the pickup straw, and this is different too. It's more flexible than the V2, and for those who have the V2, you'll know the ball weight is also a filter. So you take the end not connected to the ball, obviously, squeeze it over the brass nipple and you're ready to fill it up. As you can see, the pickup tube is first class, resting at whatever angle you tip the lance at, and it collects every last drop of product. The tip test. Many of you will already be thinking it's a top heavy design, and it does tip over quite easily while it's empty, but with a litre of water weighing it down, it's going nowhere. So if you think this will be the deciding factor to get one or not, just leave it with some water in it as a weight when you're not using it. The bottle itself is a blown plastic PET bottle with measurements down the side from 100ml to 1 litre with a little room to spare. Having that 100ml measure on the bottom is really good because a lot of brands show the 9:1 or even a 10:1 measurements for Snowfoam, so the 100ml is quite good. Just be careful, it is a PET bottle and not an HDPE bottle, so if you leave any alkaline chemicals in it, you might find you're looking for a replacement bottle. If you have never calculated your lens panel impact ratio or PIR, then I'm going to show you how to do this in around 5 minutes. It's a very quick and easy guide I picked up from Mark at Sparkling Autos, and it's an amazing way to do it. And this will help you easily convert dilutions specific to your own pressure washer and lens combinations. That gets the best out of a product. Take this product Touchless by Built Hamber. They recommend a panel impact ratio of between 1% and 5%. First thing to do is weigh an empty bucket. This one is half a kilogram. Write that down and go and get your lens now. Fill it up with 500 millilitres of water. I've coloured mine to make it more visible. Switch on your pressure washer and connect to your gun. Make sure the dial at the top is set for maximum foam, which is all the way clockwise, and dispense all of the contents of the lens bottle into that bucket. See how efficient that new pickup tube is. Now weigh the entire bucket, which for me is 6.6 kilograms. Take away the half kilo that was for the empty bucket and it weighs 6.1 kilograms. Convert that into 6.1 litres of water for 500 millilitres that was dispensed. Double that up to 12.2 litres for your 1 litre lens bottle, and that's your capacity. And now you're able to work out how much product to use. For example, Built Hamber Auto Foam at 4% PIR would be 12,200 millilitres times 0.04, and that gives you 488 millilitres of auto foam. It's a similar calculation for 1%, 12,200 millilitres times 0.01, that gives you 122 millilitres of auto foam. That's the calculation for a full 1 litre. If you're only going to use 500 millilitres, just half the amount of product you'll need. I'm going to test how accurate the measurements are on the bottle. I've got 500 millilitres measured in the jug, and that's very accurate. It's funny because from 500 millilitres to the litre, the markers are going up by 100 millilitres every time, but below 500 to 100 there's only 4, so one's missing somewhere. But nobody's using Snowfoam below 500 millilitres, are they? Onto the litre marker, and it's a little bit off, but near enough that makes no difference. Right, that's pretty much it all covered now. Let's put some Snowfoam in it and see what it's like. Michelin King Snow is the test product that I've chosen, mainly because I haven't used it yet, and they actually recommend 100 millilitres of Snowfoam on the bottle, so with the flip cap I'm able to pour directly into the lens bottle for the first time, which is very convenient, then top off to the litre with tap water. Yeah, I know it dilutes better with warm water. Anyway, let's move on. Onto the leak test now, and I don't know if that's water coming from the PIR calculation or whether it's not as well sealed as the V2 lens, but I generally don't use mine upside down anyway, so I'm not particularly bothered about that. If anything, it's well mixed now, so let's go and see what it's like in action. Now I've never used this Snowfoam before, so I don't know how thick it's supposed to be, but for only 100 millilitres of product, this is by far the thickest foam I've ever seen produced. And then there's that original problem with the V2 lens that caused thick foam to avalanche off the car too quickly and fall straight off, and this car hasn't even had a rinse beforehand. Just look at that. Well, from the panel impact ratio test, it was evident that it was pretty much exactly the same flow rate as the V2 lens, and from the info in the box, they've certainly increased how much foam is generated. We have learned that thick shaving cream like Snowfoam is drier than it should be, and therefore won't work quite as well as one that can dwell and wet the dirt, making it easier to remove. So for an experiment, I want to try the same foam in the MTM PF22 to see what the differences are, if any. And then I'll come back to see how this has got on after a 5-minute dwell. So with the MTM cannon, the Snowfoam is still thick, and I layered it a bit on the corner with the MJJC, so I'll do the exact same here to keep the comparison fair. And although it's thick, it's more creamy like double cream rather than the shaving cream. It's maintaining its coverage over the vertical panels better, and there's definitely a difference with the product run off the car. There's more bubbles in this one. I don't know what difference that'll make, but it's an observation anyway. Remember, this is exactly the same foam tipped straight out the MJJC Lance bottle. For an immediate first impression, I'd say this side looked a bit better from the MTM, with this particular foam at least, but there are more tests to come with it. It's not over yet. We're back on the new MJJC side now after 5 minutes, and pretty much 95% of the foam's fallen off. I'll show you the MTM side after 5 minutes dwell to see if there's any difference, but I think with this side you have to adjust the application technique as the Lance draws product up at an incredible rate, so to compensate you might have to move quicker with the Lance, avoiding layering the foam and trying to keep the foam as thin as you can. Let's take a look at the MTM side now, and it's been on for just over 5 minutes and it's completely different. There's still considerably more foam still working than with the MJJC. You know, I always appreciate your comments, so I'll throw it open to you to let me know which side looks better to you. Another test is adjusting the mixing dial. I'm going to turn it back a quarter turn so it doesn't over dilute it, but just that little fraction may allow just enough of a mix to allow the foam to be a little wetter. Okay, so that still looks the same to me, but I'm going to turn it back half a turn further and try that. Looking from here, it looks just as foamy. If you love thick foam, this Lance is definitely for you. But from a different angle, it has made a difference. You can see it's less dense and creamy, but that means it's altered the panel impact ratio by turning that dial. And if you could go back and try the calculation again, you'll find it will just take more product than before and you'll be back with just the same foam levels. So maybe this has just been overthinking the whole process. If you enjoy getting a good thick blanket of foam over your car, this Lance will deliver that. Do you care if it runs off faster than the next Lance? Will it make auto foam foamier? Probably will, actually. So if you want one, the only way to do it at the moment is to get one direct from MJJC.com. I'll put the direct link in the description. It'll take about 2 to 3 weeks to come direct from China, possibly less. And I know it'll become Scotland's favourite Lance before too long, and I'm really honoured that Kelly at MJJC sent this to me to review. I'll certainly be using it again on future videos. So thanks for watching guys, see you on the next one. Cheerio, bye.